Hello, welcome, Sestras. Welcome, everyone, to this week's Workshop Wednesday. We have an exciting evening planned for you. We have our SestraNow's Director of, Deputy Chief
Deputy
Operating Officer, Head
Officer.
of Sales, also known as the BooBFairy, also known as many other titles that I cannot tell you, but she is our dear Sestra. We do know that. She is the queen of sisterhood.
Yes, ma'am.
She's Queen Mama to the bloodline queens. She is definitely everything sisterhood to Sestra now. She is part of the Sisterhood Alliance, and we have the pleasure of having her share some tips. Michelle Druitt is going to present tonight on this topic of sisterhood, business, and bras, which she knows very well. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Michelle, and she is going to talk to us on the topic. I'm going to let her run with it of sisterhood, business, bras, whichever order you want to do it, Michelle.
Okay.
All right. So everyone, let's just welcome our Sestra to give us some tips on these important topics.
Yes. Thank you very, very, very much, my sisters. I am very excited to be here. I want to start with sisterhood. I did a live yesterday about sisterhood, and I do a lot of lives. Sisterhood is a passion of mine. It's one of my favorite topics. I do lives. And so the fact that I am now a Sestra is just absolutely positively amazing. It's phenomenal. Sestra now, as we know, is a phenomenal organization that offers support financially, emotionally, and spiritually. All very, very important things. So with that being said, when I talked about sisterhood yesterday on my live, I had come to the conclusion, because I always promote sisterhood, I came to the conclusion that sisterhood is not for everyone. It's not. It takes work. It takes a drive and a passion to want to be of service to one another. And I think being in service to women is one of the most amazing and awesome things we can be, because women, we are phenomenal. So with that being said, in my discussion about sisterhood, like I said, I realized I had an epiphany that we have to find our tribe. Our tribe has to find us. Every sisterhood is not for you. And right now, just like Stephanie said, I have all of these things going on. I had to sit down and say to myself, okay, what is a priority? These are the things that we as businesswomen are faced with every single day. I strongly believe that being a part of a sisterhood helps us with these tough decisions, because we know that we have the support behind us. We could go to our sister and say, listen, girl, here are the facts. Let me get your opinion. I need your feedback. And your sister is going to be open and honest and be authentic with you, because that, again, is the purpose of sisterhood. So I say that to say this. I had to put it up on the screen and look at it, and I had to decide something had to go. So I am no longer with Bloodline Queens of God. I just had a lot on my plate, and I had to prioritize. Again, this is what we do as businesswomen every single day. We make tough decisions that are not only going to affect us, but they're going to affect our brand. They're going to affect the people that we come into contact with. And one thing that I do know is that if this is going to work, we have to work it. We have to be doing something every day. Now, when I say something every day, Stephanie, I know, and sisters, there are emails to go out, there are phone calls to make, and it can be overwhelming at times. Yes, it can be. It can be overwhelming at times. And sometimes we get to the point where we say, oh my God, I've done it. I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. How many times have any of you said that? only to be doing something for the something that you can't do anymore. It's just like it's something that's in your blood. Stephanie.
So Michelle, I want to go back a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Because we got to have a little moderation here, right?
Yeah.
Moderate a bit. So
yeah.
you mentioned that, so as when I introduced you, I made it clear that you're not just a Sestra. You're not just a part of Sestra now. When we met more than a year ago, right? At an event in Harlem, I had a booth for Sestra Now, and since that time, you've been a part of many different sisterhoods, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're just saying that you pretty much withdrew from one of them. We're gonna let it remain nameless because we don't want to do that. But so my question is, most sisterhoods, right? Since we're going to talk on the topic of sisterhoods, most sisterhoods have pretty much the same mission as SestraNow. SestraNow's mission is to empower all women. Well, we're a little different in that we're multicultural and multi-ethnic. We're not just African American or any particular ethnicity, culture. We're non-political, non-religious. However, we are about empowering all women financially, physically, and mentally, right? So in a sisterhood, Michelle,
yes,
women are obviously come in at different levels in their life.
Yes.
Right? We at different levels intellectually. We're at different levels of maturity as a woman.
Yes.
You have to mature from a girl child to be a full-blown woman, right? And
yes,
as we know, we are not the same woman that we were. We're not the same woman that we was at 25 that we are at 45.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Or at 55. Right? So what I'm going to ask you as a Sestra, and I look at you as the queen of sisterhood. Really, I do.
Thank you.
But for you, Sestra Now would not have started what we now call the Sisterhood Alliance. This is where we seek to unite all women's organizations, sisterhoods, and women's leaders for the purpose of empowering, putting our numbers together to empower womankind physically, mentally, and financially, right? So how are we, how do you recommend we handle a situation, kind of like you made your decision, and I guess it is final, but as leaders, how are we to address, because I've had that issue just this week, just over the last week. It's not a new issue, but when you have certain women in an organization or a sisterhood that's at, I would say, an immature level, right? And then you have someone else that's maybe a lot more mature in terms of the ways of the world and how you deal with relationships, and even women to women, woman to woman, right?
Yes.
If as a sisterhood, we are supposed to uplift and encourage one another,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
How are we supposed to do that? How do you recommend we do that when there is a woman that's, or a sister that's immature and obviously does not want to give? She does not want to compromise. She believes she is right on an issue, right? There's a dispute. There's an issue. She believes she's 100% right. She don't want to listen to anyone. But nonetheless, you know the truth. You know that she is just not there.
Right.
But she has not matured to the point of understanding that she is wrong. And like us all, we're not the same if we are 5 years old, 15 years old, 25, etc. So how do we deal with that in a sisterhood when we know that person, we were maybe once that young woman, right? How do we not just dismiss them or block them or leave the organization or not deal with them, knowing that they need us? To me, the way I look at it is, how are they ever going to learn if they don't learn in the sisterhood?
Right. Exactly.
If we don't support them and help them and lead by example, right? How are we helping them to just drop them? Right? So I'm going to let you answer that, because I'm not saying you did anything wrong. But what do you suggest we do?
Let me be absolutely crystal clear and transparent. There is no such thing as disconnecting in the sisterhood. But sometimes when you are up against a wall, you understand? When you are up against a wall, when it is a thing where it is disturbing your peace or keeping you from doing the things that you want to do, you don't just drop that sister off and say, no, that's not what we do. What we do is we reset. You step back and just like, and I should have been more clear. Bloodline Queens, I was with them for a while. They're doing their thing. They're fine. I had to step away from that because there are so many other new things that have to take priority, and Sestra now is one of them.
I really don't. I want to
What?
get away from saying the names of other organizations because
Okay,
Sestra now. I'm gonna make a disclaimer. Sestra now has no issues. Sestra now is in great relationship, has a good relationship with Bloodline Queens
right. Yeah,
and
one has
every
got
other
nothing to do
women's
with the other.
organization.
No.
So I just want to make that statement. But please, Michelle, continue.
Right. Yeah. No. And again, let me be clear, because honestly speaking, let's just say I were someone that you knew and you were interviewing me. You were interviewing me about your organization. It's the information. It's the information that helps us. And the reason why I named names is because it's the information. We got to be crystal clear and we got to be transparent too. See, one of the things that I think sisterhood is about, it's about transparency. It's about honesty. We're not slandering anybody. You understand? We're all grown. We have to make choices and we have to prioritize. And so within that transparency, to be honest, names have to be named. I've said this 1,000 times when this year started. This is the year of the truth. We cannot keep scurrying away from the truth. And although I understand about liability and slander and all those things, and this is why we have to be clear. So now let me go back. Let me go back, because the important part is, how do we handle that difficult Sestra?
Yeah, and okay, and I want to make something clear too. I'm not saying I don't know exactly what transpired, so I'm not saying either party is wrong. I'm not judging.
No. Nothing transpired, and that's why I had to be clear. Nothing transpired. I had went on what we call a mental health break about 3 weeks ago, trying to decide. That's another thing. And as organizations grow, I am so very, very, very glad that we're talking about self-care now and mental health and wellness, because those are the tools that we are really, really, really going to need to help us in these situations where we feel that there are clashes, where we feel that things are not running smoothly. Because you know what? Things are not always going to run smoothly. They are not. And thank God they won't. You know why? Because those are the teachable moments. Those are the moments where we are tested and try to see if this is for us or if it is not. It just is, it's very, very, very clear. I always am just amazed by the joy and the sheer happiness that you can find in a sisterhood.
Let's do that. Let's talk positive. Go ahead.
Right, yeah, that's what I said. I said I'm always, always, always. And everybody on here can attest to this, because when we have our Zooms, when we are in our chat, the power of this is phenomenal. You know why? Because most of us haven't been in each other's really, really personal space. I've been in your personal space, and Adrian, I've known Adrian for a while, and I was in Liliana's personal space. So the anticipation of meeting one day, that is all part of the wonder of being part of a sisterhood. Wanting to say, I can't wait to hug my sister. I can't wait to look into my sister's eyes. I cannot wait to. Yes.
I want to first, okay, so I want to move on to talk about sisterhood. I have another question about sisterhood, the benefits of sisterhood I'd like you to speak to. But I want to just answer the question, right? The question presented was, how do we handle disputes when we have an organized sisterhood, such as we do? And we have leaders, women leaders, that are successful in their own right. You can have situations where everyone thinks they're right. How do we resolve those issues? And I want to say that yesterday during our leadership meeting, I made a proposal that we put together for SestraNow some sort of mediation system so that
Absolutely.
grievances could be presented and maybe a committee makes the decision on not really like who is right or wrong, but what's the best way to resolve this, because the point of that, the point I'm trying to make is we are sisterhood. We should not let any disagreements stop us from continuing to be united in sisterhood, because that will break up the entire sisterhood. There has to be some degree of resolution, right? So that we can get back to both being whole in a right relationship. So,
that idea of putting together we call it a problem solving think tank is amazing. How we do it, we sit down, we communicate, we make it organized, we sit down and even talk about how to resolve it. What tools are we going to use to resolve it? Who's going to be on the committee? Do we want to have because in the Sisterhood, we have many, many skilled and talented women. So we want to have somebody that understands mediation. We want to have somebody that knows human resources. Yes?
Yes.
And then we can build from there. Oh, let's say, and then we'll decide whether we want to have 5 or 6 people. We can have certain days for that mediation.
I think Carmen raised her hand. Oh, Carmen has her hand raised. If you don't mind, Michelle. Yes. Carmen, please.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so hey, Sestras.
Hey, hi, Carmen.
All right, so this topic is fascinating, and within this sisterhood, SestraNow Sisterhood, that is absolutely a phenomenal idea for us to have something where disputes, for lack of a better word, can be resolved.
Absolutely.
However, we are grown, so professionalism should be enough to minimize any types of disputes that we would have within our SestraNow.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be where it's petty stuff that is coming to
threaten to divide us. Absolutely not.
Right, to the committee to do that. But on a larger scale, with having the alliance, or we're not just dealing within just ourselves. There are other sisterhoods and things like that that are also that we are dealing with. So for that, we not necessarily will have a committee to handle disputes of such. My thing is, if we do have something where we're unable to continue the relationship as it was before, number one, we have to think of mental health. So if it has to get to the point where you have to block somebody, that's fine, whatever. But my thing is, we have to continue to be sisters regardless of what happens, right? Absolutely. Because if not, we're not a sisterhood, we're a cult. That's what we are, right?
Yeah, or just a group.
If we can't have people that have different viewpoints, or we don't have, they have to agree with everything that we say 100% of the time, then that's not a sisterhood. That's a cult.
Not a sisterhood. That's
exactly. A cult.
That's a cult,
right?
And
so
we're not doing that.
It could still be okay for someone, like she said, she withdrew from whatever. I'm part of several sisterhoods. Those people are still my sisters, especially when we go out here in Georgia to do something for the good. But you know what they also do? They go out and drink. I don't participate in that, but they still my sisters, because we go visit nursing homes and help with nursing homes. We give out school bags. We give out toys, Thanksgiving stuff. And I'm there for those things. I'm just not there for when they go in and do the shots and the drinking and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. So So I'm thinking that there's space for us all to operate, right, without having to make enemies of one another. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's absolutely. And you know what? Let me just ask this. I would like somebody else, Stephanie, if that's okay, someone else to weigh in on this. Adrian.
I want to, what I want to do is I want to kind of piggyback. We're going to stay on this topic just for a little bit, but remember, we have two other subjects to cover, business and bras, right? But I love this discussion about sisterhood, because I'm going to switch gears a little bit, because Carmen she was excellent in talking about the positive part of sisterhood, right? We started out with the oh yeah, we have these disputes and we have these fights. We have these fights with our blood sisters, right? We have fights between mom and daughter, right? We're gonna have that Sisterhood Alliance event. So I'll do this shameless plug. On March 24th, join us for Mom, Why Does Your Love Feel This Way? The first Sisterhood Alliance event. That's going to be held by Zoom on Sunday, March 24th at 6 p.m. So look in the event section of the SestraNow app for that. Nonetheless,
that's going to be amazing.
Regardless of the toxic nature of some relationships between sisters and women in general, there is always the plus. The reason SestraNow began because God showed me that there's power in numbers. That yes, individually we are strong. We are the backbone of our families. We do it all. However, we need support too. We need help too. So the reason SestraNow was started, because we said, why don't we just come together, unite, give of our individual gifts, talents, and abilities to bridge the gaps, to shorten the learning curve, so we can be our best selves financially, physically, and mentally, right? Which we've done, which we continue to do. So that's the positive part of sisterhood. We are stronger together. We will share those stories of women, that will testify to the fact that because of their sisterhood, and Michelle talks about it all the time. So we're gonna segue into business to show how sisterhood helps you in your business. But before we do that, Raquel made a comment here, and I want to discuss that just a little bit. And we're getting already, we may go a little bit past 30 minutes, but this is an important discussion. So if you guys are down for it, I'm down for it. We can just go on a little bit longer. So Raquel said something that I am curious about everyone's perspective here on, right? Michelle, before we go, of course, this is your session, so we will allow you to wrap up. But I want to talk about Raquel's comment. She's commenting on what we just said. She says, back up and allow God to do in her life what needs to be done, the process. So I assume, Raquel, that you're referring to the dispute that Michelle's had with one of her sisters in another sisterhood.
No,
right?
she couldn't. No, she doesn't know about that.
Yeah,
I didn't. That,
okay,
that's
so
one of the
Raquel,
things. That's one of the things too. You can't run around telling everybody, and I did not.
Okay, Michelle, let me do this. All right, it's a point that I'm getting to. It has nothing to do about the dispute, because we're not talking about that. We talked about the mediation and what we're going to do as far as handling those type of disputes between sisters, because I think we all agree that cutting them off is not the answer. The answer is, let's have a board or a committee or someone to weigh in and hear both sides of the story, because there's always two sides to a story, right?
Absolutely.
It's just like, I think last night in our meeting, someone said, let's do it just like we do in the courts, right? In the courts, you have a jury or you have a judge that makes a decision. So we decided that's what we're going to do going forward. We're going to put that formal process in place. But what I'm trying to, the point that I want to make right now to what Raquel said, let's just assume she's siding with someone, right? My point is not that she's saying, oh, she's siding with anyone. I want to talk about God, right? As everyone knows, SestraNow is multi-ethnic, multicultural, we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about politics, because everyone is welcome, from the atheist to the Buddhist to the Christian, right? I'm personally a Christian. Many of you are Christians in SestraNow, but everyone is accepted, right? So how Raquel's response was, let God handle it. Raquel, so this question is going to be for you. I'm going to give you a minute to respond. How do you handle that when you're in a sisterhood like this one, where everyone is various religions or atheists, right? Is your response, as because you are the director of community services for Sestra, what happens when you're running one of our facilities and it's someone that clearly comes in and they are in need of help, right? If they are in need of training or, what you have to provide them in your role as director of community services, how do you suggest do you handle that when you have a strong faith like I know you do and like I do? How do we handle those type of situations, Raquel?
First of all, I just want to say that I just want to renounce, retract what I said, what I put in the comments, because just like earlier today, just in my personal time with God, in my situation right now, God is, he's really talking to me and everything. But my thing is what he's teaching me is love. Love covers all. So I have to retract that statement that I made in the comments, because you're absolutely right, Stephanie. Say I'm, running, over one of the houses and I do come in contact, I do understand that. And so when you repeated it, what I put in the comment, I said, wait a minute, whoa. That doesn't even sound right. So I just want to apologize, because that statement was totally wrong. First of all, when I said to back up, to some that might be rejection and abandonment. So I was totally wrong. But love is patient, love is kind, doesn't envy, doesn't boast, keep no record of wrongs, love is long suffering. So yeah, I was wrong. Sometimes you have to, I don't know.
Well, I'm not
Yes, I
doing this
understand.
to say
Thank
that.
you for that.
Raquel, I am not doing
Yes.
this to tell you that you're wrong about anything. I'm asking just a simple, the question is, just putting that aside, what you said, how do you recommend you can't, let's say they're a strong Buddhist, right? So they believe at midday they're going to, that a little different than Christian, right? They got to do their procedure. How do you handle in sisterhood the difference of belief and faith, but still maintain that strong sisterhood bond? So I'm asking because we're all Sestras, right? And we have some Sestras that are not Christian, right? We have some Sestras that are actual atheists. We have some Sestras that believe in Buddhism. So we're talking on the topic of sisterhood. So the question is, how do we balance, our faith and our personal belief as leaders, right? Or as fellow Sestras, and still, not put down our fellow Sestra and accomplish our goal of uplifting each other.
Letting that be the driving force, that right there. Above all else, putting aside, like you just said, my beliefs, like, because a woman comes to the SOS house, definitely not gonna be turned, but that's the driving force. That is the driving force. Yes, she's a Buddhist, but she's come in dire need. She needs help. So that's going to be put to the side. And I'm going to be there in the trenches and help my sister, whoever it is. And I'm thinking about all the different houses, women's transitional houses and shelters that I've been in over the years, the treatment and everything. I believe that's why I was sent in them places to see what not to do, what not to do, because I was a certain way or didn't feel whatever, I was turned away. So me helping my next sister in Arizona or wherever, Hawaii, whatever, my driving force is that she needs help, period. Jesus, I mean, we're not, I get it. You know, I'm going to spiritual.
Okay, so
now.
Adrian's raising her hands. Thank you, Raquel. We get it. Adrian, how would you answer that question?
Answer the question. Sometimes you have to step back and just listen to people, because sometimes people, you don't know what's going on internally with them. So sometimes they may lash out at somebody, but I feel like sometimes that's a cry for help. So sometimes you just have to shut down your own emotions and listen to what's going on first. But almost we have to respect each other. That's number one.
Definitely.
Let's respect each other.
I understand.
And I say each person should have their level of integrity, we all hope. But if not, still, we have to start with listening, because this person may be lashing out at you, they may be actually telling you what's going on and what their cry to help is. No matter what their religion is.
You're right.
You know, that's the cry of help. So sometimes as women, we always, want to be right. Sometimes, but sometimes when you get into it and you notice that, if you notice you had a great relationship with this person, you never really had a conversation, and so one day, boom, it's the last out or whatever.
Absolutely.
So that's a cry for help.
That's when you sometimes have to listen.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we're all talking at the same time. 1 second. Okay, so thank you, Adrian. I want to give Bertley Bernard an opportunity to speak. She says in the comments, it is important to have mutual respect for each other. If you respect someone, you will treat them with love. So welcome, Bertley Bernard. I hope I'm not sure if I'm getting that correct, but if you would like to add to this discussion before we move on to the subject of business, sisterhood, business, bras, please.
Thank you very much. I am very new to the organization. I recently joined.
Welcome.
And so this is the first event that I'm attending. And on the topic of even dealing with difficult people, you have to treat everyone with respect. Nobody's alike. Everybody got different opinions. Even people that were raised in the same home have different opinions about things, and you have to treat everyone with respect.
Absolutely.
And offering them love and care. Love can really, showing love to someone who has attitude can really turn them around. Because nobody knows. There's a saying that you never know, something about caring. I can't think of the topic of the saying right now, but
you got to show them. You got to tell them how much you care before you can show them.
People know that you care. They'll change their behavior.
Right. Yeah.
And so to me, mutual respect. You gotta respect people.
Right.
And deal with them.
And I'm gonna
right where they are.
Bertley, is that right? Your name? Am I saying it right?
You're pronouncing it correctly.
We want to welcome you to Sestra Now.
Welcome.
And so we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Join us. And I want to, before we move on to business, I want to thank Raquel. I want to thank Adrian. I want to thank Bertley. And I want to thank Carmen. I want to just reiterate something Carmen said, because now we're going to segue into discussion on business, sisterhood, business, and we're going to end it with bras. But sisterhood and business is what Sestra Now does. Carmen talked about professionalism, right? So that's going to help us to segue into the next topic, business, right? So we talked about sisterhood, and in this sisterhood and many of the others, we have many sister business owners. So on our app for women, we have a marketplace for the business products and services of our members. But as we can see, we're not just about business, right? We're having discussions about, we're about mentally empowering and physically empowering, making sure we're in shape, making sure we're eating healthy, that when we go to the doctor, the blood pressure is good, et cetera, right?
Right, so,
But we're also about that paper. Many of us are serial entrepreneurs. Michelle is, Carmen is, Adrian has her ideas, right? Raquel has her coaching business. She's a travel salesperson, but there are many, we wear many hats. So let's segue into business and how sisterhood and business. So we go back to Michelle because this is her workshop. Can you tell us some benefits that you have realized in your years in sisterhoods when it relates to your business. And I know personally, since I'm not trying to pat SestraNow on the back, but I know since you started with SestraNow, you've made many partnerships that I've watched, right? With many of our Sestras that have helped you with this thing and this thing and that thing. So if you don't mind sharing that, the benefits of sisterhood and business with us.
The benefits of sisterhood. One of the most amazing tools is networking. I've met each and every one of you on here that I've met, well, through networking. The FPI network, Carmen and I belong to that. At one point, Adrian and I belonged to a network called the Total Empowerment Network. Sisterhood is amazing because it can be the backbone of networking. As the sisterhood grows, each sister, her audience grows, and she brings her audience, and so on and so on and so on. So with that being said, as SestraNow grows, as we get these women on the app, everybody's doing something, then we are able to see different aspects, different things. And it might even give us the idea or opportunity to start another business. So the benefits to being in a sisterhood for business, the opportunities are unlimited.
Michelle, I want you to not talk in generalization, because I know who you know that you connected with in this sisterhood, because I know personally you have a website. You have a not-for-profit organization. Yes. So let's talk concrete things that have happened to you as a result of you being not just in SestraNow but other sisterhoods. Let's talk what happened. Concrete examples with your business.
Concrete example. Okay, well, one concrete example. I met Vadra Shea. I met Vadra Shea in SestraNow. She did my website, awesomefamilies.org, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I met Carmen in the FPI network. Carmen did the most gorgeous shirts for that trip. Let me tell you something. My boys, my boy, I made my oldest, I made him buy 2 shirts. And he want one to go out in, one to sleep in the house in, and so the opportunities, like I said again, the opportunities for growth and to help and for us to help each other grow our business is amazing. At one time, I was a damsel in defense with Adrian, amazing company, Damsel in Defense. I learned a lot. I learned a whole.
Why don't you tell us something positive about FPI Network and Bloodline Queens? I want to hear something positive that you received from both of those sisterhoods, because they're part of the Sisterhood Alliance. So I want to leave this discussion on a positive note of sisterhood. Absolutely. Even though you may have the dispute, you did get something positive from both of those organizations. So let's talk about it.
How many times are you going to bring up that dispute? We're trying to get past that. Now, like I was saying.
Go ahead, Sestra.
Like a dispute that we are trying not to talk about. It is no dispute. Anyway, like I was saying, one of the things, and you know what, too? We didn't mention Shine Sis. That's one of my favorite sisterhoods.
Oh, yes. We can't forget Sister Circle.
Right. I actually got started with with Bloodline Queens and another organization called Bronze Kiss Mamas. I met those organizations from Shine Sis, from Sister Circle, from a networking event that someone else told me about, from a different sisterhood. So the positive things, now Shine Sis, they do the most cute virtual events. And that's how I got started with them. And we laughed and we talked, and I did this thing called a Bras 101, or, just like something like this. And we had so much fun. We got to have fun too. We have to have fun. We have to have fun. Sometimes laughing resolves a lot of conflicts. So with that being said, business is like, because you said, we got to get those coins. Business is a backbone for sisterhood. And it's just, there's so much that can happen, so much growth, so much.
So Michelle, I was asking you for concrete examples of something positive.
Yeah, and I gave them.
I hear you talk about the FBI network a lot, and I want to say something positive because I hear you constantly talking about their magazine and everything that they're doing, because that's a powerful network. Let's hear something positive about the other sisterhoods.
Yeah. FBI network. I met FBI network. I can't even remember how I met. I think I was scrolling. FBI network is I like to call them, I call them my boutique sisterhood. We had a tea party that was amazing. All of these things that uplift us. The FBI network, the magazine, Brown Girls Doing Business, beautiful magazine. Lady Farley gives each of us the opportunity to be displayed in the magazine. Can I get 1 second? I'm just gonna keep talking. I had to take the camera off. Lady Farley has given all of us the opportunity to have an article in the magazine. She has, we talked about the layout of the magazine. And this, again, is another thing that I like about the networks. The trainings and stuff and the things that we talk about and the encouragement to do other things like podcasts and it's just awesome. And I understand that right now, not only with the magazine, but right now, Lady Farley is planning some trips and some things for the network to travel together. So
that is amazing. So all right.
I wanted to quickly share as well.
Go ahead,
I wanted to quickly share as well on business and sisterhood. Listen, this is about helping and uplifting each other. And also, for instance, here in Sestra now, you and I met and talked about a little bit over a year ago, Steph. And I became the person that would do the t-shirts for Sestra now. However, there's so much more that I have to offer. And that's why sisterhood is good, right? Because the things that I can bring to the network when it comes to financial literacy, when it comes to wealth building, when it comes to whatever, is so important to each and every one of us. The things that I can get from the sisters within Sestra now also is, so it's just that connection. That's the reason, and for us to also know what each other does, and so that we can participate in each other's businesses and grow together. So
Carmen, can you give your perspective on the SestraNow marketplace app? Right, I know you're on there. How do you envision it? Because you're part of our leadership. Carmen is our director of merchandising as well as financial advisor for SestraNow. So and she's on the SestraNow app, marketplace for the business, products, and services of women. How do you foresee this when our mission is 1 million women? How do you envision that benefiting and empowering womankind in general?
Biggest thing is the fact that we're all being able to know what each other does on there, right? We are able to promote ourselves. We're able to reach a bigger audience. When we're sisterhoods, and Michelle kind of mentioned it, right? I may have access to 2,000 people, right? But then if you have access to 2,000, another person have access to 2,000 on there. Now I now have access to 6, 8, 10,000 people.
That's right.
And that is one of the things for our app. It's absolutely amazing if everybody catches the vision of this app. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yes,
because everybody is now being able to reach out. First of all, you don't have to struggle to go look for, oh my God, I need a lawyer for such and such. I can go right there and look, lawyers, see which lawyer in which area I need. If I need, I need whatever it is that I'm looking for, I can go in there. Not to mention that I can just, if something is bothering me, I could put it out there and people come to my aid, to my rescue and stuff like that. And that's what I find that's amazing with sisterhood and sisterhood in business. I've been a part of FBI network for a little while as well. I have done several contracts for thousands of dollars. I've done several workshops where I go in and edify and other people so that they can learn from those things, right?
Absolutely.
I have done so many different partnership things, which I also envision in us doing here as well. For me, I will spend my time. I do not charge to do consultations. The same things you would be paying big money for. Yes. I do not charge for those kind of things. And that's what I think is part of the sisterhood.
Absolutely.
Because you have a place here where you don't have to go out and try to do it. So that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And I want to piggyback off it, and then we're going to give it to Michelle to wrap it up with business and bras. But I want to just piggyback off of what Carmen just said. It's only in a sisterhood that you can receive for free. And I know it because I'm a licensed attorney in the state of New York, a real estate broker. I did insurance claims for many years. I'm going to just give you an example, and I'm going to let Michelle go. I can't even count how many times I've given free legal consultations, no money, or just all of you, anybody that's talked to me. You can just ask me a question, right, Michelle? And I just answer it, and that's it. No money exchanges hands. But sometimes I have no other choice because I get myself involved in something and to help, and then it blows up. So then I may say, like for one Sestra in particular, I said, look, I charge you $300 because this is getting crazy, right? And for that $300, she's got like $10,000 worth of work.
Right.
And my own brother said, you still talking to the $300 woman? Because every time he hear me, I'm still on the phone because she's calling. She's calling like she retained me, like seriously. Yeah, so my point is, with sisterhood, you really get the benefit of financial advisors, legal advisors, insurance. I mean, I referred one of our Sestras because her daughter randomly was bitten by a dog and her dog killed. So she called me, and then within hours, I connected her in Florida with a pet attorney. Where else can you just pick up the phone? Yes, where else on the same day can you pick up the phone and call someone, one of your sisters you can call and get what you need that same day? That is the power of sisterhood, because that's what we're talking about. And the power of sisterhood where you have professionals that are in leadership, that it is invaluable. So that being said, I'm going to go back to Michelle. This is her workshop Wednesday, and we're going to get back to business and bras. Tell us about some business and bras, Michelle.
Okay, we're going to wrap this
up. I'm
taking
my bra off right now.
You know what? Real quickly, we are busy women. We want to be comfortable. Bras are not good for us. That's number one. Bras are not good for us. There is an article of clothing called a bra replacement, and I got it to show it to you. I am wearing one, and I have it to show you because this is what it looks like. I don't know how much you can see. In the front, these are what we call molded cups, and this is a fitted. This is what we call a custom fit. You know why? Because you would have to be measured. Now, real quickly, the benefits. We always got to talk about benefits. The benefits of this is this. It smooths out, gives you the lift. Look, those girls are lifted up. They are supported. There's no digging straps. The straps don't dig into your shoulders. And as the BooBFairy, sizing is very important. These articles, especially the camis, they help us with posture. And if we're on Zoom meetings all day, or we're doing all these different kind of things, and we want to be comfortable, but we have to also look professional. Of course, I wouldn't show up anywhere else but here. But anyway, comfort equals confidence. And so with that being said, you can reach out to me. I want to give you a virtual fitting. We're going to talk about comfort. We're going to talk about why you hate your bra and how I can help you. I'm going to provide the personal touch. And also my company, which is Ruby Ribbon, They make casual wear. See, so we can get, I could have put a t-shirt on with this and I'll be ready for my Zoom meetings. And the bottom is very comfortable. It's got flared legs. Ladies,
so you have on loungewear there, Michelle?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Ruby Ribbon makes loungewear, but this costs enough. I'm gonna wear it in the street.
Gotcha. So are there opportunities?
Absolutely. I was just getting to that.
Okay.
Opportunity. We have the opportunity to be a stylist. I can talk to you about that. And that too is an amazing sisterhood. Ruby Ribbon Sisterhood, the stylists are, those women bend over backwards to assist, especially when the new stylists come in and they don't know how to measure, they don't know how to do, and all of these things, the learning together. So we, no matter what we talk about, we go back to what sisterhood, because all of it is connected. All of it is connected, and sisterhood is the backbone of that. It is the very, very, what do I say? Sisterhood is what? Sisterhood is going to save this planet. It is. Sisterhood is going to save this planet. And by the way, Adrian, I need you to connect me to that trademark attorney so I can trademark that.
Well, we have a trademark attorney that just put her profile on the marketplace, the app marketplace. Oh, so I got you. See? And you can do that through SestraNow Consulting. Any professional that you need, go to SestraNowConsulting.com and we can link you with a Sestra business professional. And they're also on our marketplace. But if you would like a vetted professional, someone that I personally can vouch for, you want to do that through SestraNow Consulting and contact me about that.
Thank you. I will. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, if not, we can.
So I'm going to ask questions, Michelle, because not only are these people here are going to see you with your boobs out, but the people on YouTube are going to see it when we post this on YouTube.
Yes.
The question is, does someone want to join, become a BooBFairy, not the BooBFairy? Is there like, do you have to pay to join? How does this work?
Well, you know what? We have what we call kits. So when you first look at the opportunity, there's a kit. The kit, that's $99. You get your back office. What I did when I joined, I got the kit at the time. It was like almost $400 because you know what I wanted to get? I wanted to get the pieces. See, the way we have it set up is that you can get pieces to wear. You can get pieces so when you go out, you have pieces to show. Because we don't want strangers fondling our garments. So, we get, you order pieces to show. You get a full website. This is a personalized service. So when you say, I want to be a stylist, I would sit down, we would look at the kits. We would talk about your budget. We would talk about what your goal is. That is, again, part of what the sisterhood came up with. Because, this is a multi-level marketing. And multi-level marketing doesn't have that great a reputation, but it's not the system. It is the individuals running they sign you up and then you never see them again. Mm-hmm. We don't do that. We sign you up. We give you that support that you're going to need. And we talk to you about incentives. The thing about it is we want you to be comfortable so that you can go out and do what? You can go out and you can go out with confidence. You can go out and let women know, hey, we know you hate your bra. Come on with me.
Last question, Michelle.
Yes.
So, although the goal is to enable women to be comfortable and beautiful and have their bras uplifted, their boobs uplifted without having any kind of thing, is this business? Can you make money? I mean, it's about the coins. Can you make some money?
Absolutely. You know why? Because 8 out of 10 women hate their bras. 8 out of 10 women hate their bras.
All right, Adrian.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Right,
we have people that are making 6 figures, girl. I'm on my way.
And you know what? Thank you, Carmen, for helping me with the moderating. And I want everyone to know you can find Carmen Bernard, Facts, I believe it is. You can find Michelle Druitt, AFAX, Carmen Bernard, phenomenal financial advisor. I just say across the board, right? She's just very knowledgeable about many subjects involving finances and everything business. Michelle is more than just the BooBFairy and the queen of sisterhood. She's also the founder of Awesome Families, and I have the pleasure of being on her board as treasurer on the not-for-profit board for Awesome Families. She is an advocate for the special needs community. So if you're parent of a special needs child or young adult, definitely you want to connect to Michelle. We got Adrian, who is our deputy COO of safety, the safety warrior, right? Purple Essence safety warrior. She is the one that's going to help ensure that our global community of women is safe. Then we have our director of community services, Raquel, that's going to lead out our not-for-profit side of SestraNow, which we're not just about business. We have our marketplace, but we're a tripart business model. So we have our marketplace for the business products and services. We have our safe online virtual space for women to connect without anyone dinging you about reading your palms or trying to get with you. None of that. And also we have a not-for-profit division, SestraNow Foundation. And one of the initiatives of SestraNow Foundation is to open up SestraNow's Overnight Sanctuary, which will be a home for women that are victims of domestic violence, a 21-day transitional home where we take them in. The vision for it is it's going to be like no home that you've ever heard of or seen, because it's going to be run completely and totally by our Sestras, where the women there are going to be Sestras. When they come in the door, they are agreeing and committing to being a Sestra. So that means they're subject to the same code like the rest of us. So we take them in and we take them from the trauma impacted woman that they are, and we never let go. We want to transition them out, but they're not being transitioned out and being let go. They're part of the sisterhood for life, right? They're part of Sisterhood for life. So now we take them to the different levels. So now when they are empowered in their own home and in a safe space, they come back and now they can give of their gifts, talents, and abilities to bring up the next woman, and that woman knows that Sestra can relate to her. So we're doing that with homelessness. We're doing that with domestic violence. We're doing that with business startups. We're doing that across the board. So we are about empowering women in all things, right? From the person that is being challenged with their weight loss problems. We have a Sestra that's giving a workshop at the end of this month on alternative methods to weight loss. We have Jyoti that's been with us for years. She has a unique health and fitness program. We go on and on with the talents that we have within this Sisterhood. And then we had the nerve to start Sisterhood Alliance and unite with other sisterhoods. Absolutely. So it's not That's just amazing. SestraNow. When you join SestraNow, it's not just SestraNow that you're a part of. You're also have access to Sister Circle that we spoke about, Bloodline Queens that we talked about, Queens Resource, which is Michelle, Adrian, her safety warrior site, whatever Carmen is doing. We have women's leaders that are now joining our fold through the Sisterhood Alliance, which is a separate organization that allows us to unite with other sisterhoods and women's leaders and women's organizations so they can maintain their own autonomy, and still we can unite and get to that 1 million women on our app, and no one is losing. They keep doing what they're doing. SestraNow keeps doing what we're doing, but we all empower each other for the bigger purpose of womankind, making sure that we all have what we need, right? So that we all have as women what we need. And the only way to do that in this time is for us to unite. So that is what we're making a call to everyone. Join us, this movement, Momentum to 1 Million movement. Get on this app. If you're looking at this on the YouTube, I implore you to get on this app if you are really about empowering women internationally. We want to get to the mountains of Pakistan. The women up there, I've had conversations with the leader over there. Those women over there don't have shoes and clothes. We have to unite and get the funds. The money is not for us to just just use it for our own welfare. Yes, we will empower one another so that we don't want for anything and so that we are comfortable. But the goal is to do just like FPI Network is doing. Travel with a purpose. Get over there to these other countries because we think we suffering here. Forget about it. We got to get out. We're comfortable. We're spoiled. We got to get out of our comfort zone, get on that plane, put some stuff in our luggage, and bring it to our sisters that are abroad, that need us. Okay? So that being said, it's 8 o'clock. We're going to wrap this up. Michelle, do you want to say anything before we go? Because this is your workshop. You're mute.
You're muted, girl.
Good night and be safe.
That sounded like
Hey, real quick before we go, I want to introduce you to Berkeley Bernard. She is actually my sister-in-law. I've been married to her brother for 37 years.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I don't even know why.
And she runs a nonprofit organization here in Georgia, honoring, and get this, honoring men who have given back of their time, free and without any sorts of wanting of anything, to other people that need it, to single parents that needed it, and even to just parents that maybe were working. So every year she honors 3 to 4 men that have dedicated their lives to helping other families.
Wow.
So what we want to do is we want to offer to your sister-in-law, or my sister-in-law, the benefit of being Diamond membership on our app. Not-for-profits get top-level membership on our app. Free. Absolutely free. Welcome. So you can have your organization could be a resource to the Sestras and their families. Okay, so we want to offer that. Carmen, if you can help me facilitate that, getting her on the app. And we just welcome you to our Sisterhood.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for all that you do, Berkeley, for humankind and for families.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
It's called Honor Thy Father.
I love it.
It's called Honor Thy Father.
I love it.
All right. I'm going to I know you're already there because I know you're on the app. I'm going to upgrade you to Diamond if you're not Diamond already. And you could create your profile for your organization.
Carmen gonna have to help me with this profile. I've been trying on this app for the longest, but I can't figure this stuff out.
Well, let's end on a positive note, Berkeley. We don't want to hear about no problems.
Oh no, the problem is not the app. The problem is the user. Not the product. It's the user problem. You operate the problem.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We want to thank everyone for joining us. For those that are going to watch the replay and those joining us later on YouTube, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you at the next workshop Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Join us here. Good night.
Good night.
God bless everybody.
Love y'all.
Sestra for